You don't usually catch a cheater because they confess. You catch them because something feels different. The way they hold their phone, the way they look away when you ask a simple question, the way your stomach drops before your mind even knows why. And the worst part? You start questioning yourself. Am I being insecure? Am I overthinking? Maybe they're just busy. Maybe I'm the problem. But sometimes, your heart notices the betrayal before your eyes ever see the proof. Today we're going to talk about how to spot a cheater. Not so you can become paranoid. Not so you can destroy your relationship over every little thing. But so you can protect yourself from being lied to, manipulated, and emotionally drained by someone who already knows they're hurting you. Because cheating doesn't always start in a hotel room. Sometimes it starts with a secret password, a deleted message, a name they say too often, or a silence that suddenly feels colder than any argument. One of the first signs is not just that they protect their phone, it's how they protect it. Maybe before their phone was just there, on the couch, on the table, in your hand when you needed to change the song. But now? It's always face down. They take it to the bathroom, they sleep with it under the pillow, they tilt the screen away when you walk by. They suddenly have a new passcode. And when a notification pops up, their whole energy changes. Watch that moment. Because guilt has a body language. A person with nothing to hide doesn't usually panic over a text message. But a person living two lives? They're always guarding the door between them. Now, does privacy matter in a relationship? Yes, absolutely. But secrecy and privacy are not the same thing. Privacy says, I'm allowed to have my own space. Secrecy says, there are things here that would hurt you if you saw them. And that difference matters. Cheaters often live in two extremes. Either they give you almost no information. Where were you? Out? With who? People. What time did you get home? I don't know. Or they give you a story so detailed it feels rehearsed. I went to the store at 7:15, then I saw Mike, then we talked about work, then I got gas, but the card reader wasn't working, so I had to go inside. And you're sitting there thinking, why does this sound like a court testimony? When someone is telling the truth, the story usually breathes. It has normal gaps, normal rhythm, normal emotion. But when someone is lying, they're not just remembering what happened. They're performing what they want you to believe happened. And over time, the details start changing. One day, they were with a coworker. Next day, it was a friend. One time they left at 9. Later, it was closer to 10. And when you catch the inconsistency, they don't calmly explain. They attack. Which brings us to the next sign. This is one of the most painful signs. You bring up something that hurt you. Not screaming, not accusing, just asking. Who was that? Why did you delete that message? Why have you been distant lately? And suddenly the conversation flips. Now you're jealous, now you're crazy, now you're insecure, now you're controlling, now you're the reason they can't be honest. That's not communication, that's deflection. A faithful partner may feel hurt that you don't trust them, but they'll still care that you're hurting. A cheater often cares more about escaping consequences than understanding your pain. They don't answer the question, they punish you for asking it. And after enough of that, you stop bringing things up. You swallow your fear. You apologize for noticing. That is how betrayal becomes psychological. It doesn't just break your trust in them, it breaks your trust in yourself. Cheating doesn't always make someone cold. Sometimes it makes them sweeter. That's what confuses people. Some cheaters become distant, irritated, unavailable. They stop touching you. They stop looking at you the same way. They act annoyed by your presence, like your love has become an inconvenience. But others become overly affectionate. Random gifts, sudden compliments, unexpected kindness, not because they're falling deeper in love, but because guilt is leaking out of them. They're trying to cover a wound they created. So don't just look for less affection, look for a change in the pattern. If someone who used to be steady becomes emotionally unavailable, pay attention. If someone who has been distant suddenly becomes intensely loving after disappearing for hours, pay attention. The issue is not affection. The issue is inconsistency. Love should feel safe, not like a switch that turns on and off depending on what they're hiding. This one is powerful. Sometimes the person cheating becomes obsessed with the idea that you might cheat. They question where you are. They accuse you of flirting. They check your phone. They suddenly become suspicious of your friends. Why? Because guilty people often project. They know what they're capable of, so they imagine you're capable of it too. Their mind says, if I'm hiding something, maybe they are too. So now you're being investigated by the person who should be explaining themselves. And it's exhausting, because while you're defending your loyalty, they're avoiding accountability for theirs. Projection is one of the cruelest tricks of betrayal. It makes the innocent person feel like the suspect. Let's talk about intuition, not paranoia, intuition. There is a difference. Paranoia screams at everything. Intuition whispers when something is off. You may not have proof yet, but you feel the shift. The room feels colder. The replies feel emptier. The hugs feel shorter. The explanations feel heavier. And maybe you hate yourself for noticing. But your body is collecting details your mind hasn't organized yet. The change in their tone. The delay before they answer. The way they avoid certain names. The way they get angry too fast. Your nervous system is not stupid. It remembers patterns. So when something changes, it alerts you. That doesn't mean you should explode. It doesn't mean you should accuse without evidence. But it does mean you should stop dismissing yourself. Sometimes the first red flag is not what they did. It's how small you had to become to keep the peace. So what do you do if you see these signs? First, breathe. Do not let panic make decisions for you. Do not become someone you don't recognize just to prove someone else is lying. Watch patterns, not isolated moments. One weird night does not always mean cheating, but repeated secrecy, emotional distance, defensiveness, changed stories, and manipulation, that is information. Second, ask direct questions, not dramatic questions, clear ones. I've noticed you've become very protective of your phone. Why? I feel distance between us. What's changed? I need honesty. Is there someone else? Then watch more than their words. Watch their reaction. Do they care that you're hurting? Do they reassure you with respect? Do they offer transparency? Or do they shame you for asking? Because the response often tells you more than the answer. Third, protect your self-worth. Being cheated on does not mean you were not enough. It means someone chose deception over honesty. Someone chose pleasure, attention, or escape over integrity. That is not a reflection of your value. It is a reflection of their character. The hardest part about spotting a cheater is not finding the signs. It's accepting what they might mean. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. You start replaying every late night, every weird excuse, every deleted message, every time they made you feel crazy for asking a reasonable question. And it hurts. Not just because they may have betrayed you, but because you were loving them while they were teaching you to doubt yourself. That kind of pain changes people. But listen to me. You are not weak because you trusted someone. You are not foolish because you loved deeply. You are not broken because someone mishandled your heart. The shame belongs to the person who lied, not the person who believed in love. So if something feels wrong, don't ignore it. Don't accuse blindly. Don't destroy yourself searching for proof. Don't let someone convince you that your pain is an inconvenience. Look at the patterns. Listen to your body. Ask the hard questions. And remember this: A loyal person may not be perfect, but they won't make you feel crazy for needing honesty. And if someone has to hide pieces of their life to keep you in theirs, then maybe what you're holding on to isn't love. Maybe it's just fear of the truth. If this video helped you, subscribe for more honest conversations about love, betrayal, healing, and self-respect. And tell me in the comments, what was the first sign you noticed before you knew the truth?